Hi guys, it's John back again with another model final reveal. This time it's a turn of the Eastern Express's 1/72nd scale Bell P63A King Cobra. Um, this was an interesting kit. It was quite a lot of fun to build actually. I really enjoyed building this kit. Originally it was a Toco kit if you remember. Um, but I did have a lot of fun building this model, but it did have a couple of major issues which I had to overcome. One of them was to do with a wheel well. If anyone's going to build this particular kit, inside the wings, you can see inside there you've got like a yellow wheel well box, because the kit's interior is completely yellow chromate, common with a lot of American built aircraft during World War II. But the wheel well is actually a full wheel well that goes literally the full width of the undercarriage main oleos spread there is a piece of it's a separate part that goes inside the wings, and the part's a little bit high, so you have to sort of sand down the wings quite a lot. And I could have done with sanding it down a little bit more, because I don't know if you can see there, but there is a slight, ever so slight join line, but it is slightly more apparent on the trailing edge, which you can see. Can you see it there? There is a slightly more apparent trailing edge, but it's minimal now. But when I first put the kit together, God, it was horrendous. Trying to put the wings, test fit the wings and everything to get it to go properly. The other serious issue I had was when you put the wings onto the fuselage to produce, to put the airframe together, there's actually a very small gap for the wings to fit into the wing roots. Now you have to do quite a lot of sanding. This flange here, which goes inside the walkway, is actually part of the fuselage half. I don't know if you can see it there. It's not easy there. There we go. You can see it on this flange here. You've got, like, this is the actual wing root, and this is part of the fuselage half, and it's the same the other side, if you can see it from both sides there. And that width, when you put the fuselage halves together, is too wide, and the wings just do not fit into the wing root. So I had to do quite a bit of sanding and chopping down so that the wings would actually fit into the wing root itself. But the rest of the kit flew together. Well, the propellers, I mean, the propeller goes around nice and fine, but it goes around all right, but it doesn't fit fantastically, and I wish it was a bit of a snugger fit. But one of the features of the King Cobra from Toco, this is obviously an Eastern Express rebox of it, is that it actually has separate doors for the cockpit, which is really nice because it enables you to have the door that opens. In actual fact, both doors open on the real aircraft, but generally the pilot just used to use one door to access the aircraft. And I'm hoping I can get a good view of the actual cockpit inside here. Hoping the camera's going to give you a good view. I don't think it is, but the cockpit interior on this kit is really nice. As you'll see from the build progress video that I'm going to do to accompany this, but the actual interior of this kit is incredibly detailed for such a small model. It puts a lot of more modern kits to shame, in fact, which I'm going to be doing a companion inbox review next. When you see my next inbox review, you'll see what I mean by this kit. The new tool, Messerschmitt 109, which I'll be doing an inbox through in a minute from Airfix, this kit's interior puts that completely to shame. And this kit was released an awful lot earlier than the 2009 release from the Messerschmitt from Airfix. But this kit, I really, as I said, I really enjoyed building this model. It's a beautiful kit to build. It's unusual. It's a very unusual subject. And as I said in the inbox review, the Americans didn't like the P63 at all. They found it very, they found it difficult to use in combat, and the Russians found it a joy to fly. They found it was particularly useful for the Eastern Front, although the King Cobra tended to be used in the very far Eastern Front against the Japanese. Where they were having issues with the Japanese Air Force over in the far eastern end of Russia. And the King Cobra came to its own because it virtually outflew an awful lot of Japanese fighter types at the time. The interior of the kit is actually painted in Tamiya yellow chromate, which you can see on the underside of the fuselage there in the wheel wells and well, particularly in the nose wheel well. The underside of the kit is painted in matte 1 primer grey. I do use matte 1 primer grey quite a lot on my World War II American-based aircraft because it's a really close match to the underside colour that the United States Army Air Force utilised. And the top coat of this aircraft, I didn't want to paint it matte 30 because it wasn't dark enough. It wasn't grassy enough. It didn't grab you enough, and the Soviets tended to use a much more rugged looking green camouflage pattern on the top. So I used a semi-matte colour, which was 363 semi-matte Humbrol coat, and it's quite nice. I actually think it's quite good. And I also put this kit in the open door position, which is quite nice, and that's something you can do with this model quite easily to display some of the interior there. The pilot doesn't come with the kit. I had to source the pilot separately, and I think, I can't remember where I got him from, but he was a mainstream model company's pilot, which I just put in. He fitted quite nicely into there. There are no other fit issues other than the 2 major fit issues, which all centre around the wings. But the actual aircraft itself, it was a joy to build. Plenty of room in the nose section, obviously, because it's all virtually hollow, for plenty of lead, but it needs it because this thing does sit on its tail when you bend it down. But it's quite, it does sit on its nose wheel quite nicely. And I utilised the 20mm cannons on the underside of the wings and the 2 drop tanks, which come standard fit with the kit. I thought it came, it looked quite nice on the model. So that's the Eastern Express P-63A Bell King Cobra in Soviet Air Force markings, circa 1944-45. I'm very pleased with the outcome of this model. I was really pleased the way it went together. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend this kit, provided you take a note of the issues that are centred around the wings. Very, very nice kit to build. Really enjoyed. Thanks for watching, lads. I'll see you again for the next video. Bye bye.